Good morning. Welcome to Morning Manna. I'm your daily host, Apostle Greg Stanton of the Catalyst Center. Today's scripture is 1 Peter 5, verses 6 and 7, with the focus being on verse 6. And our reader this morning was Angela out of Chicago, Illinois. Verse 6 reads, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares." This morning's reflection is rising to the top. When God places you, there is no dethroning you. You want to get to the top in the direction, in the way in which God has ordained you to get there, and not necessarily do a job of self-promoting. We live in the day and age where branding and marketing is the focal point. However, for those of us who are called to walk according to the word, we must all know that we have a design, and not only with our design, we have a timing. So the key word today is exalt, and we're looking at the word exalt as a verb. Raised to a higher rank or a position of greater power. An excellent story to look at to understand exaltation and timing is to study the life of David as it relates to his relationship with King Saul, and having to wait 40 years till his true time of exaltation, although he knew early in his life that he was chosen to be the king. So you too, you may know that God has called you to a particular place or position, but it's not your responsibility to dethrone the individual who may currently be holding your position. So what are our focal point this morning when it comes to dealing with the key to elevation? The key to elevation is humbleness. So let's look at the definition of humble. I kind of altered the definition of humble. I didn't like the way it was worded in the dictionary. It wasn't real positive. And so here's my take on humbleness. Having confidence in and showing modest and proper understanding of one's own importance. I like that. Having confidence in and showing modest and proper understanding of one's own importance. That's key. When you have proper understanding, when you're sure of who you are, whose you are, what your design is, what you're called to do, you can wait on the Lord. And it's not so much important how important you are to other people as how important you are to yourself. What's your inner game saying regarding your importance to self? The key to elevation is found in Romans 12:3. "For by the grace given me, I say to every one of you, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought to, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment, in accordance with the faith God has distributed to each of you." To every one of us, there's a measure of faith that is given to us that will substantiate where we're being called to and the action we are called to bring forth. So the key to elevation is knowing the origination of elevation. Where does elevation actually come from? Psalms 75 verses 6 and 7, that's the 75th division of Psalms, tell us, "No one from the east or the west or from the desert can exalt themselves. It is God who judges. He brings one down and he exalts another. So in due season, in due time, you shall be exalted if you do not faint, if you remain humble, if you know your design, and if you're sensitive to timing." So our affirmation for today: I trust and yield to the process. I humbly and willingly participate. I trust and yield to the process. I humbly and willingly participate. Say that with me. I trust and yield to the process. I humbly and willingly participate. Say that throughout the day, particularly when you have stinking thinking coming in, when you're ruminating on things that you shouldn't be ruminating on, when you're anxious about your time of elevation, when you're concerned about the lower state that you may be occupying at this time. I want you to say that to yourself. So there you have it. Here's a brief commercial today. I want to challenge you. If you are having a challenge that you seem not to be able to solve, consider the solution is in the question. And I'm a master of asking questions of inquiry to help individuals identify what the real issue is and also identify the solutions. So consider coming alongside of or allowing Catalyst Coaching to come alongside of you, and call us today at 708-544-4946. That's Catalyst Coaching, where we specialize in Christian-based counseling and coaching. So join us again on tomorrow, Monday through Friday, that is 6 a.m. Central Standard Time, for all of 15 minutes for the prayer line. You dial in at 712-432-0360 and the access code of 257-806#. Make sure you visit the website at www.thecatalystcenter.org. Look around, poke around, and see what's going on in the internet ministry. Lastly, if this ministry has been a blessing to you, the ministry of Morning Meditations, or any of the ministry on demand, messages on demand that you can get by going out to our YouTube channel, I ask that you consider making a donation of any size to the work of this ministry. Just go to the donation page of the website and you can make a secure donation, or feel free to call and someone will assist you in that process of how to get a donation to this progressive ministry. Well, that brings another Morning Manna to a close. This has been Morning Manna, your daily meditations to live by. Again, I'm your host, Apostle Greg Stanton. Be blessed. Come all the way on the stage of life and participate.